Hi everyone, I'm Nancy with Ladybugs Flowers and Rustic Decor, and today we're going to be painting. I'm not for sure what it is, I'm not for sure what it's called. I know that it would be something to do like with cutting or cutting your meat, something. But anyways, it's my aunt's, and a lady had gave it to her for her retirement when she retired from the dentist office that she worked at for 43 years. And anyway, she wanted me to do something special on it, which involves her old home place. So we're going to paint it. It looks bigger than what it is on the table. And then this is the last picture that she took of where she pretty much grew up, and before they burned the house down because the floors and stuff was falling in. So we're going to put that picture on her little board. And her name's Cornelia, and we all call her Nene. My brother couldn't say Cornelia, which I'm pretty sure me and my sister wouldn't be able to neither. So anyways, she wanted it painted and the picture put on there, just whatever I wanted to do with it. So here we go. I'm going to my go-to browns. And I'm not for sure if I don't just need to leave it a nutmeg brown. So I might just paint it. And I'm pretty much just going to paint the front of it. I'm not going to paint the back of it because the lady did write on the little knobs on the back that holds it up, and I cannot tell what her last name is. Because it says from the, and I guess whatever their last name is, but I can't tell what it's saying. So, and she did work at Dr. Davenport's office in Decatur, Alabama, like I said, for 43 years. That's the onlyest job she ever had. She went to work for him, and she was a receptionist, done the billing, the appointments, and he was a very special person, which he was my dentist too, for years. He actually was still doing dental work. I believe he was in his early 90s. I believe so, when he passed away. Or late 80s, one. I'm not for sure. Either late 80s or early 90s. But he still was working up till it was about a week before he passed away. But anyways, I don't know if I want this to be a little darker brown. I'm kind of going to set the picture up here close. I think I might want to put a little, I'm going to mix it in, of my burnt umbrella, the ones I use a lot for a rustic look. And today is my grandmother's birthday, which we all call her Mama Easter, which I always did. My oldest two brothers called her Mama. And so, and all three of them did actually, and so that just was something that stuck. Her name was Easter, like Easter Sunday, like, anyways. So we all called her that, but she passed away when I was really young. I was only 4. And she was pretty young herself. She wasn't but 63. So, but today is her birthday. And my aunt, everybody loved her. I just don't remember her that much, but I still love her just because that was my grandmother, so. But anyways, I've been planning on doing this, and I thought, well, today is the day. I'm just trying to get that mixed up real good. I am going to paint the sides. It's not going to take this wood long. She wasn't planning on using this, like, to cut anything on. And like I said, I'm not for sure what the name of the board is. If you know, you can tell me in my comments. She might know. She probably told me. And I just can't remember. I know I've got something similar to it, and I would just call it a cutting board. That's actually got a painting on it in my kitchen, so that my sister has seen at a thrift store and got it for me. I think, or it might have been hers, and she just gave it to me. But I'm thinking she picked it up at a thrift store. I do want to get them sides. I just don't want to paint over where the lady had wrote to her. So, she was like family to a lot of people that went to the dentist office, which a lot of her family went to Dr. Davenport. But the other patients, most of the time when they called, that's who they asked for. She was the one to speak to. And I might want it just a little bit darker than what this is, so I'm going to go ahead and get the whole thing painted this color. She told me to paint it and do whatever color I wanted to, so this is my choice, but she ought to know that this is my go-to color. So I think I want to add a little black to it to make it just not a lot, just make it a little bit darker. So she is going to hang this up in her kitchen, which she's got several pictures of. I've got a picture of the old home place because it was still there when my children were smaller, so because her brother lived there pretty much after they moved back to Lawrence County from Decatur. He lived there for the rest of his life. And then I had a brother live there in a mobile home. And now my aunt lives there in a mobile home, so on the same property. And that is soaking up. Soaking up that dark. Which I know it's darker than what it was. We might want to go even darker. I'm not for sure just quite yet. But this is pretty dark. It's just not showing up as good on that board. I think I'm going to put a little more black. I don't want it to be black. Let's see what it does when I mix that black in there with it. I started to stain it, then I thought, well, I'm just going to paint it. Because I do got some darker stain too. Wanting a little bit of brown to come through. Instead of it looking all black. Put me some more of this lighter brown. It's not going to make it light either way it goes, but it will bring some of it out. To where you can tell. It does have brown in it instead of black. I'll put my glasses on and really check this out. And I'm going to kind of sit over here to the side for a minute. I've loaded my picture off while I was drying it. So we're going to get this white cut off around it. I had thought about doing an oval shape for the picture, but I don't know, it would be taking away the house. Some kind of cut it to where it's just got like a little curve instead of it just being square. Not trying to cut off a lot of what's in the picture. Trying to give it a round. I think that'll be alright. Oh, just a little bit of a round. Roundness instead of it being so square. Alright. So what we're going to do next, when I say the back side, so I can see where my little cutting's not right better than I can. But I don't think it's really going to matter because we're going to put a little paint around it too. But next, what we want to do is put some Mod Podge. You make sure this has not got no gloss. I don't want no gloss in it. On the back side of the picture. I have to wipe that off my table. I did take up my cardboard piece, but I've got more to lay down, and I just didn't go out to my shop and get it. Don't want to put too much, but you want to make sure you got enough to make it stick. I'm going to put just a little more down here around the bottom. And on this one side, because I didn't get much on it, and it's going to dry real quick on me. Alright, we're going to bring our board back up, and I'm going to turn it around where I can see where I am laying this. Where I can halfway try to get it in the middle. And then what you're going to do is just rub it down. And it didn't want to stick too good over here. So I'm just gonna put some of that right there to hold it down. Which I'm going to put a little bit on the whole picture. So I need another plate. Let me move this one. I got another one. That's what I should have done in the first place. Just a little more. And then we're going to blow dry that. Got a little bit of paint wanting to come off up there. Like it was bubbling up because of the glue. But we definitely want it to stay. Alright. And there it is. I think it turned out really cute. Again, just a dab of paint around the edge. I might like that. Looks like I got that lighter paint just on the side of the sponge. And here we go with some drying. I don't know, that glue didn't want to was wanting to peel. Alright. And that's the way it, I mean, it's still wet on that side where I'm trying to cover up. But that's the way it looks. And now, all I'm going to use, I believe, is some of this cloth, red and I guess it's a white, but it kind of looks like an off-white to me, material to tie a bow around the top part where it's going to hang. I'm going to tear about 6 pieces off. So, they like a few more. Then I am I think that looks better. Then I'm just going to cut my legs. Well, they'll pretty much be even. With my ends. And just kind of make them go here, yonder, and there. That's what we're doing. We're just going to cut some off of that. We still got string. Just a little bit. That way we kind of just lay upward and downward. We cut it shorter. We want to. But there is our little cutting board. Well, it ain't a little cutting board. Decor. I like it. I think she will. I think it turned out pretty good. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. And always remember, you are enough. And have a blessed night. Thank you.